Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called How to Avoid Exploding HOA Fees. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new show. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. In Southern Florida and other places, people are stunned at how their HOA fees are exploding. In some jurisdictions and places in Florida and elsewhere, the laws have been updated to force building owners to increase their reserve accounts by obscene amounts. What is that, you ask? A reserve account is like the savings account for the entire building or complex that you live in. It's the money the building needs and is supposed to use for repairs and updates should they be required in the coming future. But here's the problem. In some places, the building reserves were so low or so empty that they'll need to be topped off again. One building in South Florida sent their apartment owners an assessment for $180,000. You heard that correctly. When the owners saw this assessment, they went crazy, and rightfully so. The HOA did a study to assess the problems with the building, and it came back claiming that it would cost $47 million to do all the repairs and the needed updates. So the owners hired their own engineer, and he went through the building and said that the repairs would cost $25 million. The owners then hired an attorney, and the attorney did an engineering review, and that came back much lower. So they decided to file suit against the association. Turns out one of the reasons the repair estimate was so high was because they created a conflict of interest. They created a repair company, which didn't exist 5 minutes ago, but which exists now, which they owned, and they wanted to use that company to supposedly do the repairs and bill the apartment owners. Here's the interesting part of all of this nonsense. The building itself is estimated to have a market value of $50 million. So when these idiots came back and offered to do all the repairs and updates for $47 million, then you can see the problem here. That would be like driving a $30,000 car to your mechanic and him telling you that he could fix it for $28,000. The whole thing is ludicrous. So how can people avoid these massive new assessments when they're looking to buy a condo? Here are some of the documents that a condo buyer should review carefully before making an offer to purchase a property. First, the bylaws and rules and regulations. Both of these documents contain rules and regulations that unit owners, that apartment owners are required to follow, and non-compliance can result in fines or other penalties. These documents typically outline any rental policies that the building has regarding pets or other condo rules. As a unit owner, you should make sure that there are no rules prohibiting your intended use of the unit. Any questions or clarifications of those rules should be directed to the property management company or condo association president. Financial statements. This should include the approved budget for the current year and the next year, if already approved by the board. The budget will detail all the planned expenditures of the association, including the operating expenses of running the building. The budget will also list the amount of money that is allocated to reserves. A good rule of thumb is that 10 to 15% of funds collected should go to the reserve fund, but that can vary from building to building. Next, read the reserve study. A reserve study is a budget planning tool that helps a condo association establish a funding plan for future anticipated expenses. The reserve study typically includes an engineering report that details the anticipated useful life and replacement costs of the general and limited common elements of the building. This tool outlines how much an association should have in the reserve each year to fund those anticipated expenses. Since the life expectancy and costs change over time, it is recommended that a building have a reserve study performed every 3 to 5 years. If a building does not have a reserve study from the last 5 to 10 years, then this is a red flag that it may not be appropriately budgeting for future expenses. Meeting minutes. Board meeting minutes are not required to be provided in all jurisdictions, but are something that a buyer should request if not received. The meeting minutes will contain additional insight into the ongoing discussions of the board and any concerns raised by owners or residents. Next, we have the master insurance policy. The insurance policy for the building and the association works in conjunction with the unit owner's policy to provide coverage. If you are obtaining financing for your purchase, then your lender will also request a copy of the insurance policy. It can also be a good idea to provide the policy to your homeowners and examine that as well. Other questions you may want to ask include: what is the delinquency percentage? How many units are investor owned? Are there any upcoming upgrades or projects planned in the building? Are there any special assessments planned for the next year? Have there been any in the last year? One more thing to make a note of. South Florida condo owners are being hit with some stunning new assessments for a variety of reasons. Do your due diligence, hire a lawyer if you need to, and check into this thoroughly, because you do not want to lose your condo or your property 2 or 3 years after you purchase it because they've given you a monstrous assessment or bill. Some of these new fee increases are in the 6 figures. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye-bye.